So, in the quest to get a Moe logo that would fit my Osu 4-layer cube, I came up with this method to reproduce unobtainable logos or make custom ones. This produces a product that's way better than the methods that use inkjet printers or the ones that depend on washing the paper off the back of a piece of tape. Now, I have to say I haven't extensively tested these labels, and as far as trimming them well, I have a long way to go. They're much clearer than the stock logos that I've seen so far, and they do seem to hold up better, though. I won't be going into the making of the art and some of the other preliminary stuff. This video is intended just to cover the essential information you need to execute the technique. I'm going to be making a supplementary video with some additional information. Okay, the first thing you're going to need is a laser printer or a photocopier. Okay, if it's a laser printer, it will say laser on it. If it doesn't say laser, it's not a laser printer. Okay. If you're using a photocopier, you need to make sure it's a proper one that uses toner. You know, big old-fashioned copy center photocopier, you know, like the ones you see at the library, the one pictured here that's both a printer and a copier and a fax machine. You can't just use one of these fancy inkjet printers that's both a scanner and has the ability to make copies. The easy way to tell if it's an inkjet is to print something on it and get it wet. Does the ink run or smudge or bleed? Then it's an inkjet. It's not using toner. Toner is fine black plastic that's melted onto the paper. Well, somewhat melted. So it doesn't run from water. It doesn't come off. I mean, it's important that for this technique for it to be toner. Okay. You'll need to be able to print something, take that page, put it back in the tray, and print back onto it again. Basically print over top of the same image, you know, multiple times. So you're going to have to figure out how to line the paper so that you can do that, and it also means you need to be able to get to the paper tray to put paper in it. So at some copy centers and some libraries, you're not going to be able to do this. Okay, here's one of the supplies you're going to need besides, you know, the basics, the artwork, the laser printer, and or photocopier, is Scotch Magic Tape. Now, I recommend you stick to this product specifically. The tape at least needs to be this kind of tape, you know, your regular office tape, and it needs to have a matte finish. This is the bulk tape like you might see in an office or whatever. The stuff you get from the store on the disposable dispenser is fine. Okay, the next thing you're going to need is some packing tape. I recommend the Scotch brand or the Duck brand. Either way, you need clear packing tape. And one of the reasons you really want to stick with those two brands, the Scotch or the Duck, is it's the good stuff. It's thick, it doesn't stretch, and it has really aggressive adhesive. There's a lot of lesser packing tapes out there, like the Staples brand and some of the others. They're basically not the same thing. So stick with one of these two. All right. From here, you're going to have to pick one of two paths. Either you have the laser printer, or you have a photocopier, or you have both. Maybe you're like me with that big beast you saw. You have both in one thing. Really what it comes down to is the photocopier path. It can actually produce higher quality art. But if you only have a laser printer, you can do this too. The photocopier path is all about taking big art and copying it small. You take art that's 4 times as large as you want the output to be, and you copy it at 25%, the reduction to 25%. And it comes out much better than it would if you copied something that was as small as you wanted it at 100%. It just does not work as well, especially at this fine level of detail. And the scale that cube logos are, you really needed to do it that way. Now, interestingly enough, even on the big beast that I showed you earlier, when I take something that's laser printed at 4 times and photocopy it at a 25% reduction to get the art that I want, you know, the size it's supposed to be, it actually looks better than if I print a very high resolution image directly to the size I want it to be. So, you know, weird things happen. Experiment and test. Your original art, especially for the photocopier method, can really be anything. You can have laser printed it, you can inkjet print it, you can draw it by hand. As long as it's 4 times as large exactly as you want it to be, or whatever multiple you can get the copier to reduce it to, that's all that's important. So you need to start with that. You're either laser printing it directly or you have that art. Now, here you see the pic of my 3-layer MoU logo at 4x. Little tip: trying to scale up art, web resolution art, not going to work. You need something good. Okay. All right. Now this is a little sample of where we're going. You print, cover it with Scotch tape, print on top of it, put a piece of packing tape on that, which will be the label. You peel it off, and that's what you see on the left. It's been stuck down. That's actually that ink that's on that piece of tape used to be on the Scotch tape. Okay, so really all you need to be able to do, whether you're printing directly or photocopying reduction, is be able to get it onto a piece of paper, get it in the tray, and print back on top of it. Okay, here you see an image. It says printed 400%. That's actually on the original. This is printed out 25% of that, so it is now the size I want it to be. It's on the piece of paper. Okay, so now we're going to cover it with Scotch tape. Okay, and cover the whole area, you know, the surrounding area. Maybe use 2 or 3 pieces. All that's really important is that you don't have any overlap or any seams in the area that the logo's in. It needs to be perfectly smooth. The seam will screw it up. Okay, now print it back in the machine and print or copy it on top of that. You'll see here they didn't align perfectly. It really doesn't matter. We did the original one, so we know basically where to put the tape. Okay, and now that you have that on top, you're going to put some packing tape on it. Here I folded up a little piece on the side so that I can remove it easily. You're going to want to apply it carefully so there's no bubbles, and put a piece of paper over top of that, and then rub it to make sure it really grabs that ink. Okay, and then you're going to take and peel the paper off the tape. Play with it a little bit, you'll see what I mean. The reason you want to do that is you'll get a better transfer of the ink, and as you see in this next image, it won't curl up the tape. And so now you would begin any trimming, or maybe put it on a piece of wax paper, or the backing from a previous sticker, so you can figure it out. Either way, when you're done, what you see here is I've taken the transfer I just made and put it on a piece of paper, and as you can see, it's come out really good. And that's what you need to do. So personally, I think this is really cool. I've had a lot of fun figuring it out and making it work, and I hope you get as awesome as a result as I have.